Good.
Yeah, so it's nice, but it's a mess.
Well, of course.
Drywall
Was it
dust.
a good idea to do it now?
It's working.
It is? Even
Yeah,
with the
we
kids?
got. What's that, Judy?
Are the kids at home?
Yep.
And it works anyway.
Well, I'm not there. So it gets a little noisy when they're drilling into the ceiling right below them. So, but they make it. They're okay.
Well, that's good. It's good they're older.
Oh yeah, they're high school. So yeah,
Hi,
but
Jennifer.
it's
Here
been
comes
busy.
Max. Hi, Max.
Hi, Max.
Hey Max.
Say hi.
Hey, Max.
Yeah.
Jennifer.
Hey, Max, thanks for bringing Jennifer along.
Yeah, very good.
There we have 0.1 people.
I know.
0.1 a day member.
Yeah.
Hi, Nancy.
Hi.
Two
Wow, we get to see all of Nancy today.
Oh.
people.
Yeah.
0.1 a day or small. 0.1.
Hi, Pat. Oh, no, we can't hear you.
All right, good afternoon, Rotary Club of Thousand Oaks. We're so glad you're here today. We have a great meeting planned, a lot of fun things going on. So just remember, chat box, please feel free to use it during the course of the meeting. We're also on YouTube Live and it is open, and the chat room is open on YouTube. So today we have a big second round contest with our joke off. And today we are featuring our challenger, KT Malice in Wonderland Connor versus Carol 50 Shades of Mayhem Freeman. So I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Golden Voice, David Massey, our ringmaster, to get us started today.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have second round bout today. Coming back to us again is the champion, Carol Freeman, and her contestant, KT Connor. We've tossed a coin. KT, you are going first. Let's hear your joke. You need to unmute. It's not going to go well.
Okay. When I saw this, it reminded me of our kilt wearer, Nelson Buss. A British aristocrat went up to the Scottish Highlands to hunt one day. And with him was a Scottish hunting attendant, or as the Gaelic word is, the gillie. And the aristocrat thought he was not getting enough respect from his gillie. So he said to the young fellow, "Look here, you obviously don't realize my family was entitled to bear arms since the day of William the Conqueror." "Well, well," said the gillie, "you're welcome to do that. And my family was entitled to bare legs since the time of Noah."
All right. Carol, let's hear your joke.
Okay. A cat died and went up to heaven. God met her at the pearly gate and said, "Oh, kitty cat, you've had such a rough life down there. You know, what is it you want the most in now that you've reached heaven?" Cat thought for a minute, said, "You know, I'm an old farm cat. I've slept on everything, hard floors, gravel. Who knows what was in that barn? I'd just like a big, soft, fluffy pillow." "It's yours." Cat goes away. A few days later, 6 mice were killed in an accident. They reached the pearly gates. God says to them, "Little mice, you're so sweet and so cute looking. What would you like now that you have reached the pearly gates in heaven?" And the mice said, "Oh, dear Father, we've run here, we've run here, we've run up the clock, we had to run all our life. Do you have roller skates? We would just like little roller skates." "So be it," says God. A few days later, God's making his rounds and spots the cat on the fluffy pillow. Says, "How's it going, cat? You like your pillow?" Cat said, "Oh, the pillow. I know I've died and gone to heaven. And you know those little Meals on Wheels you're sending around? That's a nice touch."
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Great round. Dave, let's get the poll going.
All right, here we go. Who's going to win? Killer Mocking. Oh, whoa, we got a wrong poll. We got to get the right poll up here. Who is, here we go. Alice in Wonderland versus First 50 Shades of Mayhem. Here we go. Boom. Poll launched. Get your votes in. Ooh. All right, we've got 10 more seconds. 7 people haven't voted. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, who's moving forward?
Is this the official?
Here we go, sharing results. It looks like 50 Shades of Mayhem is moving on to the next round.
Well, it's a wonderful fight. She'll be facing Chris Lamia next week at our next week. So Carol, maybe you'll go for another round of victory, but you've got a tough competitor in Mr. Lamia coming up. Thank you both for playing.
All right, thank you, David. All right, I don't see Michael Teasdale on. Am I missing him anywhere? Nope. Okay, so guest introductions. Karen, I haven't seen any guests today. Have you?
Yeah, yes, I have.
Well, then I'll turn it over to you.
Well, I'm just going to say a shout out to an honorary Rotarian, Skip Roberts, who's joined with Aline, his wife. Hopefully she's on. If she is, hi, baby, we miss you. And of course, we have the gorgeous, handsome Max Smith with his mother, Jennifer Strong.
Great. Thank you. Welcome. All right. I'm going to turn it over for inspirational moment and pledge, and that's going to go to Mr. Mike Murphy. So Mike, unmute and take us through it. There you go.
Thank you very much, President Dave. It's a real pleasure to be giving an inspirational moment during this particular time. You know, when we look at Rotary and we look at all of the things that we do in Rotary, trying to and attempting to achieve service above self on the projects that we've worked on in our club. And we have a fantastic membership. We have a great group of people who are good friends, who work great together and have in the past on a lot of major projects, so that we've been able to raise money for people in need in our community and as well as internationally. And not only that, we've also been able to also put in manpower, women power time that has been needed in various projects in our community to make it better for those who are down and out and suffering, homeless, don't have food, don't have clothing, can't get medical treatment. And we've, over the years, been able to do all of these projects very effectively, and we've been able to raise money effectively to do them. And then we got hammered by the pandemic, and it kind of froze everything because of the requirements that had to be met to make it safe for all of us to coexist in our community. And what is really exciting is to now learn and see from President Dave and from our board that we're now going to have the opportunity once again to be able to move forward and have some meetings where we can meet and get together. And we have worked on things over the pandemic. It's not been as large scale, but nonetheless, we've been effective. Some of us have donated money. Some of us have put in time. Some of us have put together this tremendous Zoom procedure that we have to have our meetings and where we can communicate, and how fortunate we are to have that. But what's really, really exciting is to think we are maybe getting at the end of the tunnel. And with our ability now to have in-person meetings and to expand the number slowly over time, we will be able to get back to our projects that we've done in the past. And I know we will be able to do that. It'll take some work to get them up and going again, but you know what? Because we have a great club and because we have great members and we have people with talent and a big heart, we're going to be able to get back up off the ground and move forward and do even better than what we did before. So do not give up, do not fret, keep plowing ahead, because as Rotarians and with the great members we have in our club, we're going to be able to move right on ahead and do great, great things in the future. And with that, I would like to do the flag salute. Do we have a flag? Ah, we have a flag. So I'd like to ask that you put your hands over your heart and join me in saluting the flag of our great country. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which we live, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Mike. Appreciate those words and the pledge. That was terrific. Now we're going to go into our song. This was provided today by Mr. Fred Lindbergh. So let's get that up. And here we go. All right. So some reason I was frozen out. Did anybody able to see that? Nope. Okay. Very good. Well, we're going to have to pass on that because we had just got a message that Zoom had a crash. So hopefully we'll be able to finish our meeting. All right. Sorry about that, but thanks, Fred. It was a great song. I listened to it earlier today, so we'll play it next week. All right, let's go to fine session. Michael, hopefully we'll screen share and hopefully we won't freeze. So over to you. Michael Magnuson. Unmute.
Okay, can everybody hear me? I'll look for some nodding heads. I see nodding heads, so I'm assuming everybody can hear me. Okay, so our fine session. Today's fine session is how to be a real California driver. So I'm going to pick some people that I know are driving around in California. So I'm going to start with somebody who we've seen in the car a lot. How about Michelle Nash? So Michelle, can you hear me?
Yes.
All right, Michelle. So here's your fine session question, and it's here's the deal. It's $50 if you get it right, and it's $50 if you get it wrong, because it's really you're gonna see that this is really just a psychological fine session test. We're gonna see which answer you choose and which is the best answer. All right.
Okay.
So first question. What is this funny looking thing? Here are your choices of answers. This is multiple choice. You ready? So
Yeah.
What is this funny looking thing right here in the car? Is it A, a place to hang your COVID mask? Is it B, the self-destruct button, so never touch it? Is it C, the thing I use to flash my lights at people? Or is it D, I don't know, I never touch it anyway?
Definitely C, when people are going too slow on the freeway.
All right. Well, I don't know if that's a right answer or a wrong answer, but we're going to fine you $50 for it.
Oh.
All right. Paul Dryman. Where's Paul? You're in your car a lot.
I'm here.
All right, Paul. Next question. If you do use your turn signal, when do you use it? A, after you've completed your right turn to let people you know you are done. B, after you've changed lanes to let people know you're done. C, as you are swerving into the car next to you to tell them to get out of your way. Or D, never, because it's always on anyway.
It's D because it's always on anyway, because I want people to be aware that that your car is equipped with a turn signal and you should be using it.
Perfect. All right, $50. Next person. You know, I saw Nelson Bus. Nelson, where are you?
Hey, I'm here. How you doing?
Good. Nice to see you, pal.
Yeah, I'm
All right.
off kid duty at the moment.
All right. So when you see someone's turn signal, you should, here are your choices. A, speed up to make sure they cannot get in front of you. B, stay even with their rear fender just to let them know you are there. C, get as close as you can to the car in front of you. Or D, all of the above.
I'm going to go with all of the above. So I got my license in NASCAR, so.
All right. $50 for you, Nelson.
Perfect.
All right. Jonathan Handler, one of my favorite guys. You're always on the motorcycle, so you're going to do really good with these California driving questions. Jonathan.
One
where are
hopes. I'm here. Hi.
you? Hey, how are you? All right. Easy one for you. When approaching an intersection with a stop sign, you should A, check to make sure there are no police or other cars close to the intersection, and then just keep going. B, slow down just enough to be sure nobody is there, and then go. C, ignore them, they're just suggestions anyway. Or D, come to an absolute complete stop, check your phone, check your hair, plan your day, think about your place in the world, then consider whether or not it is really right to move through the intersection before proceeding, and once completing all of that, then go.
Well, if I were a typical Thousand Oaks driver, it would have to be D.
Well, I
Because
think I'm gonna
those are
go
the
with
people in front of me at every stop sign and red light.
I'm going to have to say that's probably a correct answer. So we're going to just find you $50 for that one today.
When I moved
All right.
to Thousand Oaks 15 years ago, my wife told me, an ex-New Yorker, we don't use our horns out here. Well, that was good until, cell phones where everybody's looking at their phone. You got to use your horn.
All right. Mr. Massey, David Massey, the junior. I know you don't get out of the house much, but David,
Yes,
here's
sir.
your question for you. On a freeway on-ramp, you should drive as slowly as possible on the on-ramp and then cut off the car as you merge into the slow lane. Drive as fast as possible on the on-ramp and then cut off the car as you merge into the slow lane. Drive just up to the speed limit on the on-ramp and then cut off the car as you merge into the slow lane. Or it doesn't matter as long as you cut off that car as you merge into the slow lane.
Yeah, David, I think we all know that D is the appropriate answer here because you just got to make sure by California law that you cut off that person in the slow lane, regardless of whether or not they're accommodating to you.
Correct. I think that's the correct answer. So we're just going to find you $50 for there, sir.
Thank you.
All right. Fred Lindbergh, Dr. Fred, I saw you in your office all looking very official as a physician today. Are you still there?
I am. I'm here. I'm coming.
All right. So when you're merging into traffic on the freeway, you should drive as far as you can on the on-ramp and then cut off the car as you merge into the slow lane. As soon as you get past that curb and the vegetation, swerve immediately to the left and cut off that car in the slow lane. Once you get to the point where the on-ramp ends, immediately change all lanes to the left and get into the fast lane. Or again, it doesn't matter as long as you cut off that car in the slow lane.
Yeah, all those answers are clearly correct. No question.
Okay. Well, we're gonna call that a correct. You chose all of them, so you have to get it wrong. So we're gonna have to fine you the $50. All right. And for my last winner, how about Karen Fernari? Karen.
Yes.
All right. So when it rains, you should A, panic. B, turn your wipers on full speed irrespective of how hard it's raining. C, drive no more than 5 miles an hour, even if you're in the fast lane on the freeway. Or D, no, seriously, panic.
Well, I always do B, so I'm checking B.
All right, well, that'll be $50. So
Thank you.
thank you very much, everybody, and don't forget to drive safely.
All right, Michael, thank you very much. Just to let everybody know, my Zoom has completely frozen, so I am now coming to you from my cell phone. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. So sorry about that, but we have a frozen computer, and Zoom just sent a note that they're having issues. So, all right, next up is Fun Time, Pat McCoy. So Pat, over to you.
He keeps coming up all the time, and I think they're all.
Are you there, Pat?
Yes. Can you
It's
hear
over
me?
to you. Yeah.
Okay, real good. I guess I've been unmuted all the time. I didn't know it. Anyway, hey, here we go. It's time for our poker draw. And this is for $5 because we're starting from scratch. I can hear an echo with my voice. That's unique. And let's see who comes out. Oh, by the way, Naomi, better known as Vanna, her business is, you know, kids, I tell you, with the school and the Zoom, she's working every day to 2:30. She normally lines everything up on Tuesdays and Thursdays in previous years. The private tutoring business is unbelievable. So she's not here. So here we go. Oops, one fell out. Here we go for $5. I think you can get a Big Mac for that.
I think I'm the one that fell out.
And the winner is, I picked it up and put it back in. I heard that. Is Todd Augustine. Raise your hand if you're here, buddy. No, not you, David. Not you, Christine. No, Todd, not you, Tony. No, Todd Augustine. Oh my gosh. Oh well, this one goes into history, and it goes up to $10, as we all know. Now for my second segment, we're gonna do one of my favorites, and that is, I'm gonna pick someone from our Zoom meeting live, so I know you're gonna be here for this. And we're gonna do If I Were a, and you'll fill in the blank. Our first contestant is the one and only bloodthirsty Dracula himself, Ken Warner. Are you here, Ken? Turn on your mic.
I'm here. Now, what do you want me to do?
If you were to create a slogan for your life, what
Oh my
would
goodness.
the slogan be?
That's a very good one. It's a good one. A slogan for my life would be that I hope I left a little good before I left.
Awesome. Awesome. And can you expand on that a little bit?
Well, I think I don't know. We all have certain interests and we all have certain feelings about the world we live in. And because we're in Rotary and other organizations, religious or non-religious, we all want to make the world just a little bit better and help. And that's why we're in Rotary, and that's why we're in other groups. And that's why I have been in Rotary so long. A little egotistical, but I think I'm the oldest member of our club, not in age, but in longevity. And I started when I was in my late 30s, and now I'm in my middle 70s. And that's just kind of the motto for all of Rotarians. Leave a little good before you leave.
Awesome. That was, I should have ended on you. Next up, Karen Fenari. You're on the hot spot. Open up your mic, please.
Yes, dear.
What item that you don't have already would you most like to own?
A date. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm seriously kidding on that one. What item don't I have? Well, I've been on a spending spree lately, so that's a toughie. I really don't have one. That's terrible. I couldn't possibly have everything I want.
You do have a lot. You're a very fortunate person. You've got the American dream, but there's got to be one little.
One little something. Oh gosh, I don't know. Around the world. No, God, Pat. You know something? I'm really very lucky. I was gonna say another dog, but that would be really stupid of me to say. Because I'm afraid I'm gonna get whatever I'm asking for. I'm happy as heck, Pat. I don't have anything. Really, I don't. That's weird.
Well, you know, you're very fortunate. And I think that question was designed for you because you are very fortunate.
Love you.
Love you too. Lastly, this one is for Felix Massey. I see his name there, but it's black screen. Felix, are you there? Open up. Felix Massey.
I think he told us, Pat, that his his sound and his video were not working. He could just see us. So you'll probably have to hit somebody else today.
Okay, let's see. This question was perfect for him, I think. Who else might do good on it? Let's pick Jerry Roby. Jerry, turn on your mic. Jerry, turn on your mic. KT, can you help the brother out? There we go. Okay, Jerry. It went off again. Your mic was on and then it went off. We can't hear you.
There he is.
Okay, don't say something.
Here I am.
There you go. Okay, here we go. Jerry,
Sorry for the delay.
Okay, Jerry. I think you'll enjoy this question. If you could choose one hobby that now seems out of your reach, either financially or time-wise, what hobby would you take up and why?
I think I'd like to have a hobby of cabinet making if I had the skill to do it.
And why would you pick cabinet making?
Oh, a friend of mine was a cabinet maker by hobby and made wonderful, wonderful furniture.
And you liked seeing that?
Oh, I'd like to accomplish something like that that would be durable, that would be lasting long after, well.
And would you do this cabinet making in your own home?
Well, that would be the optimum.
And
Sure.
you think KT would go along with it?
Well, she'd have to, because she's going to do the sweeping off the dust and the dirt. You know, that would be her part of the project.
All right.
Well, that's trying to get me in trouble, Pat.
No, I'm looking at both you and KT. You guys are actually close together, kind of diagonally. She's always got a smile on. Sometimes I think it's just a picture of her. She always has a smile on. It's amazing. Thank you, Jerry. Thank you all, everybody. Felix, well, he wasn't there, but Karen and Kim Warner and Jerry, thank you very much.
All right, Pat, thank you. Good segment today. Appreciate that. That was great. I'm actually back on again. So, good news or bad news, I'm here. And also, I wanted to say the chat room is now active, and that's the good news. Again, the other good news is that chat room actually isn't recorded on the final video, so that's good. So you're free to say pretty much what you want, and it looks like people are. So that's great. For announcements today, I want to start with Ian. You're up.
Hey, everybody. Just wanted to remind you that the 24th of this month is World Polio Day. And keep in mind that with the pandemic that's going on, NIDs have been postponed. And once things get going again, we could use plenty of funds to get back into the 2 countries we need to get back into to help eradicate polio. So in honor of this month, if you could gather your change and bring it to my office or to David's office, or if you have no change, I'd be happy to take any denomination, $5, $10. We could bill your account, and that's it. That's all I got to say.
Great. Thank
Thank
you,
you for
Ian.
consideration.
Appreciate that. Next week is a big day. I think it is. This is Polio Plus month, and next week at our meeting will be our Polio Plus day. And thanks to Jerry, we have a very, very special guest coming. I'm just amazed that he was able to secure, but that's our Jerry. He can do it, and it is going to be Judith Dement, who's coming to us live from London. She's the Dean of the Rotary Representatives Network to the United Nations. That's the only agency under the United Nations umbrella dealing with polio, and that's the World Health Organization. So one of the 32 representatives of the Rotary Representatives Network is assigned to the World Health Organization in Geneva, and Judith oversees the work of all 32 of these representatives who are appointed by the president of Rotary International. So she's quite a great guest. She will be joining us live. This is also going to be a group 4 club event. So some of our other members from our group 4 clubs will also be participating in that day. And also probably some people from District 5240. So please make sure that you're here. It'll be a really special day. In honor of my father, who many of you know had polio and died from post-polio syndrome, I'm going to give $1,000 to Polio Plus that will be matched by anybody dollar for dollar. So I'd like to have that in by next Thursday, so you can either, if you're interested in participating with that match, you can send your money to Chris or talk to Ian. But this is a big deal, and it's particularly personal to me. And we need to continue the fight for polio. We're close. We really are really close. We're down to 2 countries. Jerry sent me an article today that's in our local newspaper that talks about the difficulties that have been encountered with COVID, but they're still doing it. And we're down to 2 countries. So it's a great thing, and I'm looking forward to next week. So thank you, Jerry, for all your efforts in getting Judith to be a speaker for us. I also want to give you an announcement. You will get an email tomorrow. We will be going, starting an in-person meeting for our club on October 29th. This will be kind of our test run, and we have tentatively scheduled 3 more in-person meetings till the end of the year to see how they go, and if it works well, and if we continue to have good compliance and with the county guidelines, we will hopefully be able to open in person more at the beginning of the year. So this will be at North Ranch Country Club. Our Los Robles isn't quite there yet, but it will be up to 40 people. And you'll get an email tomorrow with all the specifics about that. We will limit the number of people that can attend, so you will have to sign up. There will also be, of course, as a lawyer and as Rotary International, a waiver and an explanation of the fact that, we are not guaranteeing, but just we will follow, and North Ranch Country Club does a very good job of following all the protocols. But the good news is too that if you do not feel comfortable in person, that's perfectly fine. It's an individual choice. We will also be Zooming the meeting just like we are now. So if you saw the announcements earlier, you will see that we will be phygital, meaning we will be physically meeting and we'll be digitally meeting over Zoom. So we'll be having hybrid. So if you're comfortable staying on Zoom, perfect. You will be just with us the same as if you were in person. But those of you who are anxious to get back will come in person. There will be a lot of protocols that you'll need to follow, and we expect everybody to do that. That will be in the email. So we're looking forward to having the chance to really getting back and in person and having a chance to work this through. So thank you all. I thank my board for really working on this and contributing, and we will definitely hope that it goes well. And if it does, then we'll go to the next one in November, and then we have another one scheduled for December. So final announcement, unless anybody else has an announcement, is that we will be on October 29th, part of the meeting, just one of the segments, 10 minutes or so, will be a little bit about Device Day. And that means that we are really pushing, and Nikki is working hard on getting all of our stuff out on social media. So we want to make sure that people are able to find that. And so if you bring your phones or your iPads or whatever else to the meeting on the 29th, Nikki is going to walk through with everybody how you get those applications on your phone or your device. And so you can follow through. We're having a lot of information going out on Facebook and Instagram. And if you're asking what the heck is Instagram, then this is a good chance to learn what Instagram is. But there is a lot of information, and we're trying to get our community to post through our Facebook too. So it'll be hopefully an opportunity to really stay a little bit more connected. All right, does anybody else have an announcement they want to make? All right, terrific. All right, now I want to turn it over to Susan Murata, who is going to run our little bit of an auction right now. So Susan, I'll give it to you.
Thank you, David. David, do you have the pictures that I sent you yesterday?
Yes, I should have them, and I hope they will come up. So let me just see if I can do that for you. Which one do you want first?
Any of them. They're all beautiful, so it doesn't matter.
All right, I will start with this one first because that's the one that's on my screen. Can you see it?
Not yet. There it is.
There you go. Okay.
No, I don't know how many of you saw my email blast yesterday, but these beautiful arrangements are made by our very own Judy Lazar. And she has donated 3 of these beautiful, it's a live pumpkin that is filled with succulents. And this will last well past Thanksgiving. So it's the perfect addition to your holiday decor for the fall.
Beautiful.
So it's hard to put a price on this because I think they're priceless. They're absolutely beautiful. They're very large, so it'll make a real statement in your home, either on your table or sitting out front. So I think we should just go ahead and start the bidding. Like I said, I have 3 of these. So if someone is interested in bidding, we'll try to figure out how we're going to sell all 3. I would like to start with a bid of $25. I think these are actually priceless, but we'll start with a bid of $25 for the one on the screen. Raise your hand. Is that Carol?
Yeah, 50.
Pardon me?
50.
50. Bless your heart. Would anyone else like to bid 55? I have 50. Do I have 55?
Christine.
Pardon me?
Chris.
Oh. Chris Steele?
Yes.
Thank you. You're bidding 55?
Yes.
Thank you, Chris. We have 55. Do I hear 60? They're beautiful.
Maria.
Maria. Thank you, Maria. I can't see everybody. That's the problem.
Yeah, I'll try to keep watch too, Susan.
Are we buying these one at a time, or are you going to auction?
I kind of would just like to do all 3, but it's kind of difficult and continue to take bidding. I didn't quite know what was the best way to do this. So I guess we can do one at a time.
I'll pay $75 for one if that one's mine now.
Ooh,
I like that. 75 for that one. David, why don't you put a picture up of the other one and we'll move on. I think 75 is a lovely amount, and thank you very much for that, Carol.
All right,
I'll mute myself now.
And put I have 3. I think I only sent you 2 pictures. I could only get 2 to go.
That's true. There's the second picture.
I'm going to see if I can find my other picture and get it to you. So, and I have another one. And Judy, I know, Judy, you're on. If you would like to say something about
how big are they? How big are they? What's the diameter?
Judy Lazar, can you unmute and talk to us a little bit about this?
Yes. Okay, so they're big pumpkins. They're probably that big. They will last. The succulents are on top. They're glued on. They will last to Thanksgiving easily. You'll get rid of them after that because you want to put Christmas decorations up. But you don't have to do anything to them. You can put them in the sun. You can put them in the shade. Better in the sun. But they really look good on a table or a front door or wherever. One is Carol bid on the knobby orange one. There's the white one that you have a picture of, and I have two others. And whoever buys the third one can pick which one they want.
They're orange, correct? The other ones?
One is orange, and the other is one of those the fairy pumpkin, that kind of pinky. I don't know, not orange, but not.
Thank you, Judy.
It's just there. It's a big pumpkin.
All right, so we've sold one for 75. Chris Steele, are you interested in buying one as well for 75? I think that's a wonderful price.
I'd be interested in buying that white one.
The white one. Thank you so much.
Yours.
Then we have one other, either an orange one or, like she said, the pink one.
Judy
Paul
said she
Dryden?
took two more, so I'll take the last two and I'll pay $100 each for the last two.
Oh
So
my-
$200 for the other two.
Who is that?
Oh, Felix.
Felix?
Yeah.
Oh, Felix.
So I think there's just one, right? I think
I'll sell. You can have both. I'll get another one. I'll make another one.
All right.
terrific. Yay. So we sold 4 of them.
All right.
Felix is buying 2 of them at $100 a piece. We have one for $75 for Carol Freeman and one for $75 for Chris Steele. Thank you so much. We'll make arrangements for you to either pick those up at Judy's house or I can deliver them, whichever is easiest for you guys. Just send me an email and let me know. Thanks so much.
Judy, can you make 10 more for Felix at 100 each?
At $100, maybe.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Judy.
I'll do
They're
10 more
gorgeous.
and bill it to Bornstein. It's BOR.
Yeah, that
All
was
right,
amazing.
great. Thank you. Thank you, Susan. Thank you for all of you who bid. Judy, appreciate you putting the time and effort into those beautiful arrangements and making them available for the club. And this is really great. It helps support our annual fund. And as you know, those dollars, percentage of those dollars come right back to us to use in our community. So terrific. Thanks again, Susan. And now I'd like to turn it over to KT for Happy Dollars.
Okay, I'm unmuted now. I'd like to start with $2 in honor of Mike Magson. It's the second time I didn't find that the spelling was wrong of his name in the bulletin. So my apologies again, Mike. And it was really a weird spelling this time. Okay, who's next?
Hey, KT.
You're forgiven. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Might as well put $2 in for the other misspellings as well. I believe Karen Klein was wrong, and there was one other one as well. But we'll find that. So I'm going to put in $4 because there's 2 other misspellings in there. So just
Good,
want
thank you.
Just want you to know.
All right, who's next? Hands up. Judy?
I'll put in $10 for all those people who bought those pumpkins. I get to cut my succulents and use them, and you get to take the pumpkins home. And Rotary benefits.
Good, thanks, Judy. Okay, who's next? David?
Well, as David, our president, announced that my father's video and audio seems to be out, but he gets to see us. So this is an apology dollar. This is a little note that says, call mom and dad on it. And that's because I forgot to call them yesterday for their 59th anniversary. So I'm going to donate $59 on behalf of my parents for their 59th anniversary. Congratulations, mom and dad. And I will call you guys tonight. My apologies.
And what was that cost again?
The cost was $59.
59. Okay, thanks. Okay, I'm over 29, so I don't always remember after 5 seconds. Okay, who's next? Nobody else?
Yeah, Martin is there. Martin's.
Oh, Martin, okay.
No one else.
Well, I got a $5 question. I want to know who Jerry Robings voted for in the joke off.
Wow, he's still being mute, isn't he?
Jerry's taking the fifth.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're the troublemaker, Martin.
Good job, Jerry. Take the fifth. You'll be fine.
Okay, who's next?
Vicky.
Vicky?
I have 5 happy dollars because, well, actually they might not be happy. They're kind of in between dollars because I have noticed that we all look about 10 years younger on Zoom. And I think we're going to be super disappointed when we see each other in person.
Thanks, Vicky. That's why I'm not showing up. Okay, who's next?
It looks like that's it.
That's it?
Vicky. Yeah, so thank you very much. Greatly
Okay.
appreciate that.
I
Good
even have
job.
them all. Yay.
All right, yay. Chris will be very happy when you send that to her. All right, thank you. Now it's time for our program, and I want to turn it over to Jeff Bornstein to make the introductions.
Thank you, Dave. So with all apologies to Dame Judith DeMint, who's going to be our speaker next week. She's got a tough act to follow because our program today is none other than our newest member, Dr. Cristina Sanchez. Dr. Sanchez has served as a leader in the higher education for 23 years, with the past 16 years specific to the field of international education. In November of 2018, Dr. Sanchez became the Associate Provost for Global Engagement at California Lutheran. Trained as an interculturalist, she focuses her work to promote global and intercultural learning and competency development. All these big words, and that's really one of the reasons I asked her to do this, because I didn't know what any of these things were. In addition to providing keynotes and seminars on the advancement of internationalization in the USA, Australia, Singapore, and France, she has published articles on best practices in international education and student success. Cristina loves the university environment and the dynamic nature of college life. Her interest in lifelong learning is evident by the various educational opportunities she has pursued, including a dual undergraduate degree in English and psychology from the College of William and Mary, a master's degree in college student personnel administration with a counseling emphasis from James Madison University, and a doctoral degree in intercultural communication from the University of New Mexico. Cristina's country of citizenship is the United States, but she has been fortunate to live and work in various places throughout the United States and abroad, including Pennsylvania, California, Arizona, Virginia, Kansas, New Mexico, North Carolina, Spain, both in Jerez and Granada, and Nagoya, Japan. She has traveled for pleasure or business to 32 countries, and she hopes to experience many more. With encouragement from Herb Gooch, she recently joined the Thousand Oaks Rotary Club and is eager to expand her involvement with the club and its members. And step one is being our program today. So I turn it over to Dr. Sanchez.
Yeah, thank you so much. Really a pleasure and honor. So newly joining the community and being asked to share a little bit about what I do and what this global initiative is that we are pursuing at California Lutheran University. So thank you for the kind introduction. I did want to share sort of an overview, a little bit of a presentation with everyone today. And so without further ado, I'm going to open up my screen and presentation. Okay. And so is everyone able to see a screenshot of the Center for Global Engagement now? Fantastic. Thanks for the head nods. In my screen view, I won't be able to see if you're asking something in chat. So feel free to jump in, or at the end, I'm going to save a little bit of time so that we can ask questions, and I'm happy to answer them at least as best as possible. But I loved with our session today, our program today, just the centering around, you know, as Ken said, you know, let's leave a little bit of something that's better for this world before we leave this world. And that really is part of what has drawn me and motivated me for my work in the field of international education at various universities and institutions. So thrilled to be at California Lutheran University. I know that many of the members are part of the community, and I may not have even met you yet. So I look forward to that opportunity. And for those in the community, I am learning more and more about Thousand Oaks, and also welcome and look forward to having those times when we can start to get to know each other person to person. So let's see. Today, in our time together, I wanted to talk a little bit about the mission, our operational units, global initiatives, and how we perceive that and pursue that at the institution. And then our efforts around global engagement support to make this possible for our students. Because many of you are familiar with Cal Lutheran, the mission is probably of no surprise. Our mission at the institution is really looking at educating those leaders for a global society who are strong in character and judgment, confident in identity and vocation, and committed to service and justice. This, no doubt, in looking at the resonation of that, that particular mission and knowing the work of Rotary is part of where I saw a very seamless connection of being able to be a member and fully engaged with this community, thinking of those shared common values. The center itself was established in 2017, and then as mentioned, Jeff so kindly shared in my introduction that I came to the institution at the end of 2018. This was all part of re-envisioning global efforts at the university and to create a structure that would have a more organized approach to our work in looking at expanding learning for students. And so the mission that we established for the center is really in complement to the institutional mission. And we look at the global learning and perspectives for our students, both in the classroom and outside of the classroom, so that they are able to become a socially just global leader for our society and contribute to our community. My particular work and the title I hold, Associate Provost for Global Engagement, I love the title. It's a little catch-all of someone who does a lot of different things and tries to have that coordinated within our overarching goals of global initiatives. Key focused areas, you'll see for those of you who have the visual, a graphic here looking at 6 components that institutions, so universities that have a real global focus, are looking at many different components and how to make sure that the university as a whole is working towards these goals. And that includes the curricular, so our credit-bearing activities, courses, as well as co-curricular outside of the classroom, and then faculty and staff support, how we through the center can assist our faculty and staff in infusing international dimensions into their work, as well as mobility areas, which is the movement, right? The inbound and outbound activity of individuals for students who study away and inbound international students. I always find it interesting that the government considers us a commerce and looks at our mobility work at a university through the Department of Commerce because they look at it as an import-export control. So we also identify and work with partnerships. Those are institutions, universities around the world that we connect with and do work with and sometimes have agreements with. in institutional commitment and policy, so that we are making sure that our policies and procedures at the institution are moving forward in our goals, and that the leadership and structure of the institution is also reflecting and supporting our efforts. So I just wanted to frame that, but I'm going to break it down a little bit more so that we have some of that understanding of what's happening at the university around these key components, but making sure that, and as you see in the visual here, that our work in diversity, equity, and inclusion is something that we look at from a lens to make sure that all these focus areas are being intentional in the work that we're doing to make sure that the full community is involved and engaged. And then, of course, we have to be agile. Things are dynamic and changing, just as Rotary has been dynamic to change and adjust and modify and go virtual. That's a real live description of what we've been doing at the university as well. And it's quite interesting. Of course, this work is not done in a vacuum. There are many individuals involved and helping on this. The team that I work with in the center include members of 3 key areas. These offices include our international admissions. This is the team that works on both graduate and undergraduate international admissions, reviewing and recruiting students to come into the university. And they have recently created a new ELS MBA pathway program, which is for graduate level international students who have not yet perhaps mastered completely English. They need just a little bit more language instruction, but they join us at Cal Lutheran and start their program while simultaneously doing some enrichment courses around English. The Office of Education Abroad is working on many dimensions and looking at providing opportunities for students to go overseas. These are international and domestic away programs. We run one program in Washington, D.C., and that's the one program that's active right now, even during COVID-19. We have students who are studying in Washington, D.C. and doing some internships there at the same time. But our overseas programs right now are on hold, both this semester and for our spring semester. We're just going to be US based. Internships, research, academic courses, all of this is also offered in an overseas capacity so that students can go away and still have these types of educational experiences. And the Education Abroad team works directly with our faculty-led programs. These are faculty members at the university who are taking students with them overseas for an intensive experience, usually around 2 to 4 weeks, in which they go to a country and have on-site learning and experiences that occur. And the new dimension with international education, which is going to be, I think, a very growing and expanding dimension into the future, even after we are very comfortable and hopefully have many more measures in place to address COVID-19. Virtual programs, I think, are here to stay. And I'm very excited about this. You know, I'm always trying to look for a silver lining. And right now, in our current climate, this has been one that I have been most appreciative of, because we're looking at being able to have experiences for students. And sometimes students can't leave and go to another country. And so this broadens how much we can offer to these students. And the final office is our international students and scholars, working with both our graduate and undergraduate international students, our exchange programs, where one student from the US literally exchanged, like trading places with somebody else from overseas. And that person overseas comes to join us on campus, and our student goes to join their campus community for 1 semester. Of course, the fun stuff, immigration and regulatory matters and policy development, is also the joys of International Students and Scholars Office. So they get to have all the fun. I mentioned that we do our work, and of course, we are all about education. We are at a university, we are working with students, and our work is to help support initiatives around their global learning. There's a fabulous little definition the American College and Universities has created around looking at what is global learning. What I like to emphasize is through learning about different communities and cultures from different lenses, that this is really creating for us open-minded students who are being these socially just, responsible leaders. And so we use that as our framing. And while many of you are familiar with Cal Lutheran, I know that that would be presumptuous to think that everybody knows about our institution. We have, for undergraduates, just over 3,000. We are over 4,000 when we count our graduate student community. But we are a liberal arts institution, which is really focused on the more intimate classroom and really analytical, critical, dialogue-based educational experience. We're very proud to have small class sizes where our average is 17 students per instructor. So that gives a chance for everyone to really engage. But our campus is very diverse. Since 2016, we have been very proud to be a Hispanic serving institution, and we have 27% first generation college students, over 42 states and 49 countries represented for the individuals who are learning and engaging and being on campus with us. And so it is a wonderful experience for us to have. Now, I mentioned that in our work, part of what we do is look at developing this learning, not only to promote it from an overseas perspective, but also to look at it from a campus perspective and what our students who are on campus are learning and experiencing together. And so I have two videos. I'm going to start with one, which talks a little bit about our campus initiatives and the work that's brand new for us at the institution.
Enjoy the next 30 minutes of uninterrupted listening.
So for those who don't have visual on this one, it is a video that's looking at ways to be engaged, top ways for connecting for our students at campus. This includes everything from activities and programs to a new residential option where students from internationals and domestics can come together and be able to learn from each other. And then of course we have the options for students to study and go overseas together. There are clubs and organizations as well, lots of different cultural organizations on campus. And then students who have new ideas can also bring in their own ideas to create new organizations. And then we have peer programs. So it's one-to-one programs where there are international peer mentors as well as ambassadors for global programming. So we like to position all of our learning together and then do that both from a US perspective and what we can do from the campus as well as what we can do from overseas. So we are expanding this area. This is probably the newest piece to our portfolio at the institution, is driving some of this campus-based learning opportunities. So the second video focuses on our overseas options and opportunities that students have in order to study abroad. Okay. All right, and what you need to know about studying abroad, first and foremost, what in the world is this concept of studying abroad? And it's simply the option for students to go overseas and experience their learning there in another context. And then there are many benefits for students who decide to take and pursue this option. Interestingly, only 10% of students in the nation participate in study abroad opportunities. And so many students who do study abroad find themselves in a very competitive edge when it comes to the career market and pursuing jobs after they have finished their degrees. We have various types of options for students in looking at going overseas. And so they are able to do something that's customized for their academic experience, which might happen during a traditional semester, or it could happen during the summer, or a short-term experience during a winter break or intersession. And we're committed to making sure that all students who want this experience have the opportunity to go overseas. Regardless of what their major is, we identify programs that complement and support their curriculum and go towards their degrees. And so the big question, as in everything, is what does it cost, right? Show me the money on this. And pricing does vary when it comes to studying abroad, but we've tried to develop Cal Lutheran programs which complement and meet the same cost as going to Cal Lutheran. So that way everyone knows that
I'm here. Hi, Cookie.
So this last piece is just for our students about what next steps do they take. So I'm going to go ahead and close out of that. I love Ann Beatty's quote, an American author who says, "People forget years and remember moments." And that ties in so well, not only with our overseas experiences, but also looking at, for us, you know, the experiential learning, and that we learn and we understand and we retain things by the experiences that we have. So to make these experiences a possibility, we offer scholarships to students. And many years ago, I'm not even sure when it was established, but we had an endowment created to help support undergraduate students in their study abroad options if they were going to take a class abroad. And since 2016, as this fund has matured, we've been able to offer $250,000 towards scholarships to help students go overseas. We used to have about, I would say 200 plus students going overseas, but in the past 5 years, that number has been going down. So we are relying on trying to find ways to support students to be able to afford the experiences. And then last year, we saw the need to create a separate fund to support students. And so we established the Global Engagement Fund. The monies that the government and the institution received regarding COVID-19 to support our students. Unfortunately, international students were not included as eligible for any of the funding that was coming into the university. And so through the Center for Global Engagement, we did our first funding drive to try to get monies that we could then distribute and support to our students. Which was wonderful to do, but at the same time, I am not an expert. So those who are experts love to get more guidance and advice about what that would look like for ideas. We are also very engaged in helping students from a regulatory perspective.
No worries about it. No worries.
Focusing on some of those changes.
Okay.
So I think there might be somebody unmuted. I don't know if that's. I think she's on the phone right now. So.
Okay, I'm going to mute everybody, and then Christina, if you could just unmute then.
Okay. Okay, thank you. All right. Our
Christina, you're muted.
Christina, you need to unmute.
Well, all right. Sorry, I thought I had. All right. So one of the things that we hear from students is how much they value having international students in our classroom and how that is mutually beneficial for our international students to learn more about U.S. culture from U.S. domestic students, and for U.S. domestic students to learn more about internationals and different perspectives as well. And we've got some different quotes here about COVID-19 and impact, and that was really part of what motivated us to submit on the lawsuit against the government in order to demonstrate that this is more than simply closing borders. You're closing perspectives and access to learning. So I think I have one more slide to share. And this is just a philosophy, a way of thinking of things. It's not one's destination, it is never a place, but a new way of seeing things. And so this is the criticality of our learning from one another and really being engaged as a community. And so that, in a nutshell, I hope I made it in my official 20 minutes. Looks like I'm just over 20 minutes, was what I wanted to share to sort of break down the enigma of global learning at Cal Lutheran. And I don't know if we have a couple of minutes, maybe, if there are any questions.
We do have time for a couple minutes. Thank you, Christina. That was terrific. So let's see if you can raise your hand or put your, look like Martin has his hand up first. So Martin, unmute.
Quickly, I just wanted to make a statement. My son went to Denmark for a year on while he was going to university. And I tell you, it was the best thing he ever did for himself. It gave him a completely different viewpoint. I would recommend it to anybody.
So appreciate hearing that. Always the stories and the impact make such a critical difference. Thank you.
All right. Anybody else? Judy, go ahead and unmute. Unmute, Judy. There you go.
Mine is more of a comment. You know, in this coronavirus time, I want to put in a plug for CLU and what they are doing, not so much with their international program, but they have instituted these Zoom classes that have brought a tremendous perspective and addition to those of us who are at home to continue learning without having to take exams. So please pass on my thanks.
Certainly, yes. And we
They've been
have
great classes.
Brand new 50 and better program,
Yeah.
offering the virtual.
You didn't have to mention that it was 50 and better.
Well, it's
But
better.
it's okay.
It's better than the other.
That's true.
It's 50 and still kicking for many, many, many years.
You're not too old to stop
Great.
learning.
Thank you again, Christina. So we will give a book in your honor. This I don't know if you can see it, but the book is "The World Is Not a Rectangle." And this is about a young girl in Iraq who saw the wild beauty of the rivers and marshes and dunes and ancient ruins in her country and dreamed of designing wild and beautiful cities of her own. Her name was Zaha Hadid. When she grew up, she became one of the most irreverent, controversial, and celebrated architects in the world. And so this book is her story. It'll be in the Caneo schools, Title I schools, and under your name will be added to that book. So again, we greatly appreciate and enjoyed your presentation today. So, and so glad you're a member of our club. So thanks for being here. I wanted to announce that another club member has matched $1,000, so that there is now $2,000 that will be matched dollar for dollar for anybody who either through coins for polio or other contributions to the Polio Plus program puts money in over the next couple of weeks. So thanks to that club member. So we now have $2,000 to be matched by any other club members who contribute to Polio Plus. So thank you very much. Again, I want to thank our greeters today, Karen and David Harris. Christina, thank you again. KT for Happy Dollars. Tanya for taking notes. Mike Murphy for inspirational moment and pledge. Song from Fred that we didn't get to because of Zoom, but we will do it again next week. Fine session. Michael Magnuson, good job. Auction, Susan, always great. Fun time, Pat McCoy. Beautiful. Thank you, sir. And again, let's just remember, don't let whatever you cannot do interfere with what you can do. And that's Mr. John Wooden. So let's go forth, Rotarians, and change the world. And that's all there is for this October 15th, 2020. We'll see you next week and have a great rest of the week.
Thank you, David. So everyone stay safe and healthy.
See you.
Thank you. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, David. Thanks, Christina. You're fabulous.